Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaRakah double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth. Um, got this article on the Daily Star, and it's really just a madness, and it really shows how, like, the times we're in. It's 2024, it's the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Fuck, close. The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, and it's the times when now is where things will be reported on, things we mention, and it's not even that big a deal. The funny thing, in the Jake world, the thing that's big now was with what's his name's interview, man. Cat Williams interview where he's exposing a lot of these boule, man, a lot of these Jakes, these these blacks, so-called blacks up in the entertainment industry, and the criminality they get into, man. And it's making waves because it's direct shots being fired, direct details being given, names being mentioned. And it's funny because a lot of these things have floated to the surface, which is this again is just another aspect of the skirt being lift up and the leg being made bare, as far as in for Esau's kingdom, man. That's Jake. That's one of the bastions of where Jake's been going up in there, sliding up in there, um, you know trying to present themselves as some honorable sorts. But what's being revealed, man, a lot of these guys giving up scruples and morals to get to achieve these things. And it's like, it's making waves, but again, it's kind of like at this point, people are even fatigued on finding out how fucked up Hollywood is. Like, it's not really a mystery at this point. Though, you go back, if that happened in the 90s, then the thing is, even if it happened in the 90s, it wouldn't even have like a platform for it, because it would have been what do you call that? The internet wasn't to the same level, man. You couldn't just go on like YouTube and just post. You might have a website, you might be able to put up an interview, a text based thingy or something. But it's not gonna be as much as just being able to go and see HD video on your mobile phone wherever the fuck you are, and watch man go into deep, like damn, and then seeing man making replies in real time and shit. It's it's a different era. Which is why even this article coming out, which really, you look at you just like, this sounds fucking, this is some dystopian, hellscape movies. This is shit that you have the Umbrella Corporation, sitting there and being like, yo, okay, I need this. Being like, saying like, I need this thing working and complete, within the year. Or else I'll pull your front. Like, this is some movie level shit, which they're looking into. But that's just, again, become like a normalcy, because that's the times we're in. Everything's already been cranked up. People, the cranking up has been normalized to where that's just the news cycle now. That's just is what people are used to. It's like war. The war, all these wars happening. It's like seeing carnage, death, bullets and carnage is has become a norm. So I read this on the Daily Star. It says bizarre brain C-hip implanted into monkeys to stop them taking risks, which alone just lets you know like what. So it's sedating, man. It's making them easier to manipulate and whatnot. So it says the study incorporated flashes of light on different parts of the brain, and is hoped to be the starting point of better understanding of gambling addiction in humans. And of course, there's a so-called just righteous cause for it. It's like, we're doing it to stop, gambling addicts, or better understand, so so you don't end up destroying your own life with these things. That's been the MO. There's always a shield, there's always a covering on it to make it where it's essentially acceptable. It says what a dystopian brain CHIP has been developed by scientists to stop monkeys from taking risks. Researchers at Kyoto University in Japan use light flashes from the chip, to speak to different parts of the brains in macaques. A tendency to take bigger risks was triggered by turning the light on one side of the brain while flashing the other LED to the monkeys, settling for lower risk and reward. And, the degree to which this is going down is successful and whatnot. Who the fuck even knows? I ain't gonna pull up the study. I don't really give a fuck. The fact that the study's being done is enough to know, like, yo, what the fuck are these men looking into? Like, what are these men trying to reveal? Because the thing is, anyway, is that they might be looking for this, or that might be what it says they're looking for, but they might have done, they could have done tests before and found like, oh, there was something else that someone else saw and was like, oh, okay, so we can say we're looking for this one thing. We're gonna be able to highlight, find out more about other aspects where it might be able to be like with what's that, Kingsman, where you can get people to go into a frenzy. You might there might be other impacts on which you can have adjust behavior and whatnot, utilizing these methods. But that's something where they're like, that's worthwhile. And it's funny as well because it said take less risks, and it's based in Japan. And Japan's got that they've had the issue where it's like the men over there, their masculinity is compromised, and these guys are completely bowing out society. And it's funny because it's happening in China. It was called like the Lying Down protest, I believe, in China, and then there was something similar in South Korea because, as far as they see it, it's like society. There's less opportunity, less chance to progress within it. They're kind of like stuck in a hole. So what did it say? So it says now experts reckon the findings could lead to a better understanding of the root causes behind gambling addiction. Associate Professor of Neuroscience at Johns Hopkins University, Viet Stuphorn, was not involved in the work but wrote in an accompanying commentary. This unexpected finding implies the two neighboring regions in the frontal cortex together regulate risk attitude in a competitive push-pull like fashion and can both increase and decrease risk-seeking. This is important because it opens up the possibility to identify the neuronal mechanisms in the circuit underlying this ability. So being able to find more, being able to find more, uses or understanding of like what, just what they're manipulating. That's what they're, looking into. If that's even what, these men are doing. Well, like I said, I ain't gonna go into the study. But the fact that research is being done into it is, already implies what it implies. So I said, monkeys are natural risk takers, and scientists started off by finding out how much this applied to the specific animals used in the study. They trained them to choose different colored spots with the potential being rewarded with different amounts of water. Some of the spots had a higher chance of giving out water than others, with larger amounts on spots that had a lower chance of yielding. Kind of like gambling. The monkeys are understood to have largely gone for spots with higher reward and higher risk. Using the CHIPs, however, the scientists shone a light into a part of the brain called Bronmann Area 6, which is part of the frontal cortex and is involved in planning, complex and coordinated movement. When the light was shone on the top part of it, they found the monkeys would opt instead to take smaller rewards and risks. In other words, becoming more cautious. So that's what they're saying they're doing. It's as far as the viability, who gives a fuck? I don't really give a fuck because someone was there and gave these men the funds to to research these things, which lets this is and the thing is that means that this this is in the mindset of people with money and interest to to look into these things. and it's being normalized, and it's no surprise. It's all built around the sea hip as well, man. All built around that rice grain, because that's essentially like going forward as well, being normalized, being put as like, okay, you can expect, you might get, okay, you can get, if you got a gambling problem, then we'll have government programs so that you can get this implanted, and then and it will help you with that, as they say that these are parts of your law, parts of the draw. 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men 2 Timothy 3:13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Yeah, and that's really what we've got. We're in that time where everything's waxing worse, and then what? Deceiving and being deceived. Because essentially being sold as like, yo, it's one thing, but the reality of it is what, how's that going to be utilized? They say like, oh, XYZ uses, but if they're able to manipulate behavior, that where do you think that's going to go? You already got like things like antidepressants and whatnot, which really just put people just completely sedate like people's ability to experience things as well, where it kind of puts a damp on their personality, on their ability to interact and whatnot. And that's basically sold as a big solution. But yeah, it's whilst it might deal with one thing, there's myriad side effects, man, that will fuck you up. 2 Timothy 2:6, so like 2 Thessalonians 2:6. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked one be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after Satan, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and all power and signs and lying wonders. And that's really what, as far as for Esau, these different things being researched, being looked into, these different technologies, different studies being done, this is part of that whole draw and the law that everyone has for Esau. They're looking at it like, damn, that's this guy's a man. Who can even compete with this guy? This guy's gonna be zapping you in your brain, and then you're gonna walk past Betfred, you're gonna walk past Ladbrokes, you're gonna walk past what the fuck are these Coral, the gambling spots in the UK. And then just be like, nah, I ain't even gonna, you're gonna press the button, it's going whoop 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 in your brain, and then you're gonna, it's meant to be like, no, I don't want to, I want to take a risk. Oh, fucking hell. But that's the thing, is these things are being looked at as, something to aspire to, something great, which Esau's is something he should be glorified and worshipped for, which is what people are doing. But then what's the reality of it is part of the plans, the schemes of those who hold sway, hold power. These guys in the dark, in the secret get-togethers they have. These are things being schemed and planned, man, where they're going to utilize these technologies, these means, to have power over the people, man, further power over the people, like they don't already do, man. And lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them, that they perish because they receive not the love of the truth, and that they might not be saved. And yeah, you're gonna have hella people caught up in those delusions, man. Unable to to get out of it. That's gonna be what they hold on to the end. Because why? For Jake, they ain't received that truth, man. So yeah, Revelation 20:2, and he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Because yeah, that's the key role, deceive the nations. Like I said, it was Japan, man, Ammon, going into that. But in what, they're part of that whole structure and system. Even though it'll be off in Japan, a lot of these research projects will have different international people backing it. A lot of these research, there might just be one backer, man, or it might be what they called, not a brain trust. What the fuck is the term, man? Where a bunch of these people put their money together. I can't remember the word. But it's where, you'll get not hedge fund? I think a hedge fund. I think there's another word, but hedge fund works. Where it's a bunch of people putting their money together, and then what? They're funding interests. Oh, think tanks. That's what I was thinking. Think tanks, yeah. These think tanks where, they'll be like, okay, we're going to look into this, or we're going to try and, and understand the psychology of this, or try and monetize, this. Let's look into this field. Then, they'll fund research that's in that field, and they'll collate all together, and use that, for their interests. Which that's how Esau's got down. From going way back, man, they always go into these things, and psychology's been a field, and then now with with the ability to, the technology's been given, he's trying to utilize that, man. That blessing he's got, he's trying to utilize it to the max, and it's all about what his desires are, because he's that same serpent, man, that same subtile beast, man. Bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So yeah, we're in the midst of a little season, because why? Esau's out, he's doing his job, he's deceiving the nations, man. And this all lines up, man. Everyone's bought into it. They're thinking like, yo, this is just, just like how, people on horses and then got cars, or people looking up at birds, and you got planes and whatnot. They're thinking like, yeah, just get them, rice grains and whatnot, and then that's just gonna be the future. People will be like, okay, just put one in for this, put one in for that, moving like the $1 million man, the bionic woman and whatnot. That's what people are thinking. So Revelation 13 and 14 says, what? And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause as many as would not worship the beast to be killed. What's that? I'm deceiving all that dwell. Well, yeah, deceiveth all that dwell on the earth by those miracles, man. That was the point I was meant to touch, because as far as it's that that same role, man. Him utilizing his technology, being able to go out and blow Japan to high heaven, utilize the capabilities of his military technology, which when you deal with America, like post World War II, that's how they dominated. That's how they've been dominated. That military capability, and then also financially as well, through the dollar as well. Especially once they went off the gold standard, and then essentially had just the dollar, the fiat currency as the world reserve currency, that gave them a great amount of control, influence, especially for trade. But okay. So verse 14, deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That's the mindset everyone's in. Everyone's basically in a lull, in where their mind's been. They've essentially completely assimilated with that image, man. That image is what they live and die by, man. Their whole scope of their life is within the image of the beast. They're thinking that you mentioned like, oh, okay, where do you want to live? What kind of life you want to live? It's gonna be within the bounds of the beast, man. They're thinking, oh, I want to go New York. I want to go Copenhagen. I want to go Paris. I want to, these guys are thinking about all these different destinations. They're thinking about what they can, get and how they can live within Esau's system, man. And how great, how satisfying, they're like, oh, I'm going to be able to do this and do that. And then, we'll go here and we'll do this and we'll eat this and then we'll go here and then we'll go on the river and do that. They're all within that image, man. They're all thinking and they're like how they behave, how they want to structure their life, their morals. All those are set by the beast, man. Which is why you say certain things or you mention it, they'll be like, oh, well. And then, meanwhile, they're meant to be a Christian. But then when you bring up what's in the scriptures, they ain't hearing shit. So it says what, verse 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And yeah, that's essentially how it's going to be laid out, man. It's going to be, you're going to have to get down with the system. You're going to have to fuck with what you call it, with that rice grain, to continue to function within society. What else? Well, it's gonna it's gonna be over, man. It's gonna be washed. It's gonna be dead food. And that's how most people, by and large, people out here, it's like those aren't of the elect. It's open season, especially for Jake, man. Hella Jake gonna be running to get, cause why? Esau's their daddy, man. Esau's their king. Second Corinthians 11 and 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So everyone's looking at him now. He's that angel of light. Esau's basically set the parameters of what righteousness is. And then, shockingly, it completely lines up with how he functions, how he conducts himself in the society has now become righteousness. And everyone, they're wandering after the beast. Is that wrong? Oh, yeah. Let's finish on this. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Yeah, Esau was the most subtle, man. That's been his nature. That's been a key aspect, Him going out there to deceive. That's his job, man. This guy's been sent out here to deceive, man, to lie. That's his key role, man. I get one more. Which I forgot. Alright. So Isaiah 31 and 1, and it says, Woe to them that go to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians. Wait. Oh, yeah. Either go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots. Yeah. Because why? Stay on horses. But essentially, those that are putting their trust within the carnal might of these nations, which, Jake's at the top of that list as well. But all these heathen essentially, been in that lull, in that daze, looking at Esau, look going to him as far as being like, yo, this is the guy, man. That's all, that's essentially all gonna be dead food, man. It's all gonna be done away with. Because I'll read back down. So verse 3 says, now the Egyptians are men and not powers, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh hath stretched out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is holpen shall fall down, and they shall fail together. So yeah, these guys are men, man. Esau, the new Egyptian, man. Coming in the spirit of Egypt and Sodom. He's the same as them, man. Carnal. It's a carnal system. It's within that same statue. It's one of those same beasts, man. It's following after and in the tailwind of those prior kingdoms, man. Those prior systems. So it's operating the same way. And it's gonna go down. It's it's gonna be put on smash. Because why? It's part of the statue, man. It's part of the what's gonna be around before the kingdom, and then after it's gonna be toast, man. It's part it's part of what's gonna be consumed, so the kingdom of heaven can be formed, man, on the earth. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahshua, Ba'Hashem Harakak Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great Muslims, all well. Shalom.